Hey everyone, I'm Nicole Valencia of RotoGrinders.com, here to talk to you about creating hitter stacks in LineupHQ. We'll go into LineupHQ and set up our slate for tonight on DraftKings MLB. It's currently set to build 20 lineups. Now remember, on DraftKings you have to have at least 2 inputs in order for lineups to be created. So we'll just put a couple of numbers on the expensive pitchers so that we get some lineups. The hitter stacks live under the build rules. Here's the hitter stacks right here. Notice every team on the slate will have a stack percentage, a min player's text input, and a max player's text input. You'll see the Vegas lines here, the opposing pitcher, the salary cost of the 1 through 5 hitters and the 5 through 9 hitters. If you set up a couple of stacks and you want to change things, you can click the red button over here for the team, and that will clear out the settings that you've made so far. Or you can edit all and stack every team on the slate a certain percentage here. But we're not going to do that yet. We're just going to start off with a few simple stacks. So right now, by default, it's going to use 4 players minimum, 4 players maximum. So you'd be using exactly 4 St. Louis Cardinals in 20% of the 20 lineups we have set to build. So if we just do this simple example with the Cardinals on it and build our 20 lineups, we'll look for our stacks. Here's one of them with Molina, Jerko, Pham, and Ozuna. Here's another one with exactly 4 hitters. Another one with exactly 4 hitters. And here's the 4th one out of 20, which is 20%. Which is what we asked it for. Now, of course, you can go and modify your settings for those individual Cardinals by going into your player pool and setting numbers on those hitters. So, for example, if you took Jerko here, you could set him to 20%, and then he should be in 20% of your lineups when you generate the build. So the team settings obviously work differently than the individual settings, but feel free to exclude players you don't want in the pool. Here's Jerko. We set him for 20%. He ended up in 30%, as you'll see. But let's go back into the build rules and modify some things some more. So you have a primary stack here. If you had 50% Cardinals, they'd be on 10 of the lineups. But we also have double stacks. So here you can enable double stacks. What this will do, will give you the option to build more stacks. So here's a primary stack percentage, a secondary stack percentage now for every team. We still have the numbers we had before for St. Louis, but you'll see your primary exposure currently adds up to 50% and your secondary exposure currently adds up to 0%. So the way to think about the primary stack versus the secondary stack is LineupHQ is going to go through the primary stack numbers and expect 100% or less here. If you have 50%, you're not going to get double stacks on all of your lineups. It's going to do the same thing on the secondary stack. So right now, we won't get anything different than before. We'll just end up with half of our teams having 4 Cardinals on them, and enabling double stacks isn't, we don't have anything set in here, so it's not going to adjust anything. You can build a secondary stack for a particular team without building a primary stack, because say you wanted to game stack St. Louis and the White Sox. If you made both of these 50%, you'd already be at 100% for your primary stack. And if you did the same thing over here, you would end up with a whole lot of White Sox Cardinals game stacks. The secondary stack defaults for minimum players of 3 and a max players of 4. But of course on DraftKings you can change this to 5. You can change this down to 2 if you want. Let's just go back to 3 here. Actually, if we go 4 and 4, you know, if we can generate this many lineups, you're going to see a whole bunch of Cardinal White Sox stacks here. So let's try to make 20 lineups of that. And here we go. A whole bunch of White Sox and Cardinals hitters at the top. Here's stack after stack of that combination. So let's go back and adjust it again a little bit more. We could clear out the White Sox settings. It's back down. If we did 50% Yankees here, now we're already at 100% of our stacks for our primary stack number here. Our exposure is 100% now. So if we do something smaller on the other side, and we did 3 to 5, 3 to 5, that's 3 teams, so for 2 more, and now we have 4 Yankees, 4 Cardinals at 50% each for our primary stack. This is going to result in double stacks on all 20 of our lineups. Let's pick another team. Of course, I'm going to choose the Rockies. All right, now we have 100 and 100. So you can check your numbers up here. That all adds up. We should see a bunch of double stacks now. So here we go. We've got a lot of Yankees around 40% here, 35%. Some of those Cardinals up there too, because we stacked them a lot. Here's a Cardinal stack with Rockies, another Cardinal stack with Rockies. Those are showing up as the highest projected totals. This is a Philly stack with the Cardinals, and on we go. And down here, at some point, we should see a bunch of Yankee stacks as well, since they were at 50%. And we mix and match them with the 5 teams that we put our secondary stack numbers on. So now you're going to see Yankees with Cardinals. We should get some Yankees with Rockies, Yankees with A's. We got Cardinals and Yankees together here. So it generated what we asked it to in the hitter stacks, just like that. We can do a similar thing on FanDuel. You can go check your build rules here. Set up similarly right now. Go into the stacks. We have our same stack settings that we had from DraftKings that came over. But what you'll need to do is adjust these numbers down. If you don't, it shouldn't allow you to create 5 from the same team on FanDuel. So if we did 100% Brewer stacks here, and we changed this back to 0, cleared out our other teams, and let's turn off double stacks. Let's just ask for 5 Brewers hitters on all of our teams. We're going to get 0 of 20 lineups. And the reason for this is because there's a maximum of 4 hitters per team on FanDuel. So we can go in and adjust that. That check is built in. Now we should be happier with Brewer stacks. Here we go, generating 20 lineups. Full of Brewers, namely a few cheap ones like Kratz, Saladino, and Miller. So you can do the same thing on FanDuel. You'll just need to stop your max number at 4. You can enable double stacks. You can go back through. You could try for 4 Brewers with 4 Yankees by putting a secondary number in for the Yankees of 3 and 4. So if we set both of these to 3 and 4, every team should have at least 3 Yankees and at least 3 Brewers. Build our 20 lineups. And you'll see 3 Yankees, 3 Brewers. Same for that one, and on down we go with high exposures over here. Now, of course, remember you can go edit a lineup by clicking the pencil next to any player's name and adjusting if you want to swap somebody in or out. So that's it for hitter stacks. I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.